Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to PNP. This is your boy Dave. Rashad is out this week. He gave you guys that warning shot, so I'm here. So I'm going to give folks a quick minute to get in. I'm not going to be here that long. I'm going to go over a couple things here and there, and then I'm going to call it a night because I got a lot of things I got to work on. So I hope everybody had a phenomenal weekend. For me, I went to the Newport Jazz Festival this weekend. I went 2 out of the 3 days. I made the decision to stay home on Saturday. Wanted to get some video games in. A lot of sporting events. You had UFC, you had WWE Summerslam. So I stayed at home on Saturday, but the Jazz Festival was pretty dope on Friday and Sunday. Food was but overall pretty good weekend. Can't complain. But we've completed the first week of training camp. So that is a good thing to celebrate about, and we'll talk about that. And we'll go over a couple other things here and there. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I look like a strict principal because I have to be, sir. You know what I'm saying? I have to be. That's what I do. But we're going to get into a couple things, but there's a couple topics I want to talk about. I mean, I won't be too long, like I said. I have not, and you got to fix the Y, man. It's IE now. It's no longer ROBBY. It's ROBBIE. So you got to fix that. I did check out Flair's last match, but that's the only match I saw. If you want to, we can talk about that too. Matter of fact, I'll just first things first. Let's get into some topics. Rest in power to Bill Russell. I could pretty much spend an hour talking about Bill Russell. He's a legendary basketball player, 11-time NBA champion, first black head coach. He broke barriers too. He was a very big civil rights activist. I recommend. It's cool to check out the cool stuff he would say in front of other NBA players, but it's doper to check out some of the interviews and some of the history of what he went through as a player and as a person, in across the country. So take some time out if you haven't already. I mean, Twitter is flooded with Bill Russell tributes. So take some time out, check out some of the things that he did. We always talk about athletes taking a stand and having their opinions on certain things prior to the whole sticks to sports mantra. He wasn't about that. He was always about that activism life, and I commend him. The greatest Celtic ever. So rest in power to Bill Russell. Moving on. I'll talk about SummerSlam real quick. Well, not SummerSlam, Flair's last match. I'll talk about Flair's last match real quick. SummerSlam was a good pay-per-view too. You could tell that Vince McMahon is no longer running it. You could tell that Triple H is at the helm, which is a good thing. But as for Flair's last match, man, let me tell you something, bro. When I heard he was going to do another match, I didn't think it was a good idea. Sup, sir? I didn't think it was a good idea. Then I watched the match, and my thoughts were co-signed that it was not a good idea. Ric Flair is 73 years old, bro. He can't be out. He should not be doing matches. You know what I'm saying? So I think from that standpoint, that's problematic. He did a suplex, couldn't get up at that point. The way the match ended, his shoulders were down too. But yeah, man, I hope to God Flair didn't need the money. That's all I got for that. Like, bro, I remember, and we'll get into some of the other topics, but somebody brought up wrestling. So I remember I went to WrestleMania 30, and WrestleMania 30 was in New Orleans. And there was another conference going on, another wrestling event / conference going on called WrestleCon. I think they still do WrestleCon now. Typically, they go pretty close to where WrestleMania is, and then they have this event. They have some of the wrestlers that are no longer in WWE. A couple of WWE legends are there. Like Flair was there, crazy enough at the time. And they had a ring at this event. I ran the ropes. That mat's not soft, guys. they're professionals, but like a 73-year-old man should not be out here trying to hit that mat. So that's that. Shaw's on vacation, man. You know, Shaw's on vacation, and I told him that when you go on vacation, bro, you have to be on vacation. So, so that's why he's out. He's not here. SummerSlam was a pretty good pay-per-view. I will say that. Really good pay-per-view. So, from that standpoint, that's my little review. Yeah, the tractor bit when Brock Lesnar lifted up the ring with the tractor was insane. All right. So I want to talk, before we get into the training camp discussion, I want to talk about Deshaun Watson. Because I want to break this thing down for you guys so there's some clarity on what's going on. So you heard that the judge made a decision that they're going to suspend him 6 games. The NFLPA has already announced that they're not going to appeal the suspension. The NFL has 3 days. The way this works is, if the NFL decides to appeal, and at that point, Roger Goodell can make the decision. He could decrease it. He could increase it. If he makes a decision, Roger Goodell's in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. If he does decide to appeal and he ups the ante and increases the games by 2, people aren't going to be happy with that. They're not. If he decides to try to fine him, if he decides to try to add more games, do the entire season, or suspend it indefinitely, like the reports initially was saying, is what the NFL wanted, Deshaun Watson is going to sue. They're going to be back in court. And let me tell you what happens to that, Panthers fans. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because there is a factor involved, and you should be paying attention, and you probably are anyway, but I'm here to give you reason why we should be paying attention. If Roger Goodell decides to increase the game amount and Deshaun Watson's not okay with it, he decides to sue the NFL, the union's going to put an injunction to lift the suspension until the case is done, which means that Deshaun Watson will be available to play against us in week 1. So when we talk about going into the whole rigmarole about the Deshaun Watson situation, it's still a factor. Right now, he's suspended 6 games. But if the NFL makes the decision to increase the game total and Deshaun doesn't agree, then the union can put an injunction to lift the suspension until a decision is made. And the odds are the decision is not going to be made before the season starts, which means he will be available for week 1 to play against us. So the NFL has 3 days. So in 3 days, we're going to find out who's going to blink first. So from that standpoint, that's all I got to say about Deshaun Watson. I read the ruling. I don't know. I don't understand what nonviolent sexual assault means. I don't. I think, that's just not my lane, but I don't get to make those calls. I just don't know what it is. I don't know what that means. I will say though, for the patrons who've seen the ranking, my quarterback rankings, I did rank Deshaun Watson, assuming that he's going to miss 8 games. Do I think his rating is going to go up because he's only going to miss 6 instead? Most likely, maybe a little bit, not too much. But I'm going to do an updated one closer to what some preseason games are played, so it'll be adjusted then. So for those who don't know, I did drop my fantasy rankings for quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs and tight ends, defensive and kickers for the patrons today. They dropped today, and you know what? I'm in a mood. I might do you guys a solace, and I might give you guys rankings of 3 players, but I'll let you guys know when I'm ready to do that. I'll probably do that after the Underdog promo. So that's all I got with regards to Deshaun Watson. I'm very happy that we decided not to trade for him. I'll say that. I think the type of heat the Cleveland Browns are going to get is going to be insane, and I still don't think it's going to buy them anything from that standpoint as well. So we shall see what happens with this situation. But I think what it boils down to, like, initially I thought he was going to be done for a while, and I backpedaled from that a couple weeks later. 6 games was going to end up being it. The more that I thought about it, the more I saw how things were unfolding. It's the precedent, and considering the stuff that they're doing with the ownership as well. So it was about the precedents from that standpoint. I completely disagree. The NFL is going to lose a pocket of their base over this, but I don't think it's going to affect them. I don't agree with that notion. I think there's going to be some portions of the fan base that's not going to be interested. I think it's going to be pretty similar. It might be bigger levels than the Kaepernick situation, to be honest with you. I think there's going to be some pockets of the fan base, particularly in Cleveland, that's not going to mess with it. I mean, I think the concern is this is going to alienate some of the women, but bottom line, I don't think it's going to impact them because the contracts they're already getting paid off the contracts. Ratings, I don't think it's going to take that big of a dip. It'll probably still go up because there'll be other folks that'll watch. We as a society is not good at the striking the NFL thing. Oh no, I'm with you. I think if you talk to females about Deshaun Watson, they cringe. Like certain females will cringe when you talk about the guy, and the guy's gonna pretty much get away with losing less than $350,000 in 6 games. Yeah, and the base is already split as it is. I've been paying attention to what's been going on over there. The base is already split. And by the way, you Cleveland Brown fans, I will continue to talk my shit. You guys are a terrible franchise. Y'all were a terrible franchise before y'all made the decision. Y'all gonna be a terrible franchise after y'all make the decision. Y'all haven't won anything in a very, very long period of time. I've been seeing the smoke you've been giving out the Panther Nation. It's unnecessary. It's reckless. You have no room to talk. You could wish you had the success we've had over the last 30 years. You wish. Moving on. All right. That's that. All right, let's talk about some Underdog, man. Man, they had some pretty good props. Pretty good over-unders for the UFC fight over the weekend with UFC 277. And there's going to be other opportunities coming up to do some over-unders. There's not too many things where you can win 20 times your money. So please, ma'am, please, sir, go to underdogfantasy.com. Use the code PNP when you sign up. You get a deposit match. I believe they're still doing it up to $100 right now. So check out Underdog Fantasy. They're adding more players as we go. They're adding more sports as we go. I got an idea for them they don't know about yet, then I'm gonna throw at them and see what they think. But check out Underdog Fantasy. They're a really great company. So once again, underdogfantasy.com and go to PN and sign up using the code PNP, and it really helps out the channel. They're doing the best ball tournaments. So basically it's pretty cool. Draft a team and then you just set it and forget it. And they select the best players, the highest players from that particular standpoint. So go check out Underdog Fantasy, man. And they do tournaments in other sports too. They also do over-unders in baseball, soccer, golf, everything. So check them out, Underdog Fantasy. All right. I want to do something for the folks who showed up today. And make sure you hit that like button. All right. Make sure you hit that like button. But I want to pull something up for you guys. And I'm going to give you guys some data from a fantasy standpoint. So I released my initial fantasy rankings to the patrons this week. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to know who my ranking is for 3 players currently right now. What's up, Lunch Break Hot Take? Now, with regards to that, put the player in the chat. I'm going to pick 3 guys, and I'll give you the rankings for those 3 players. Select the player in the chat where you want to know the ranking, and I'll pick 3. So just post the player in the chat. Slim, you don't need to name nobody because you got the list, buddy. And if you don't, I'll tell you where to find it. That's what's up. Let's see. I think they will. I think the NFL will. But I think it might do I think the NFL wants this to go away. So now I think the debate for them is, do we just take the backlash of this going away by not appealing? Or do we and just take the hit because they're going to complain if they don't appeal? Or do we go for the juggler and realize that he's going to be there available week 1 because the union's going to put the injunction on? All right. 3 players. So far, there's only 2 in the chat. If y'all only want those 2, that's fine. All right. I'm going to do all right, I'll do a quarterback. Nobody wants to put a wide receiver. Okay. I'll do 1 quarterback, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end. I'll do 4. I'll do a quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, and a running back. I'll do 1 for each position. All right. We'll do Joe Mixon. I have Joe Mixon at number 6 right now. I have Joe Mixon at number 6. I have 5 running backs ahead of Joe Mixon. I'm not going to tell you the 5 that are ahead. I'm pretty sure you can figure that out, though. So, yes, I have Joe Mixon at number 6. A lot of Trey Lances. All right, I'll do Trey Lance. We'll do Trey Lance. I have Trey Lance ranked number 15. I don't think he's a starter. Number 15. And yeah, by the way, guys, just for the sake of clarity too, within my rankings, I also, since we're talking about quarterbacks, I also did the research on streaming options for the guys that'll probably be available on most waiver wires. So then you have an idea of like some of your options. If you make the decision to not go high on a quarterback and you decide to make the decision to stream weekly, I have a setup where you can pretty much have a streaming quarterback through week 18. So, and that's a separate slide that I have. And I plan on doing a Zoom for the Patrons on Friday. I'll let you guys know in the Patreon what time, but I'm shooting for Friday. Let's see here. All right, so I gave you a running back. I gave you a tight end. No, I gave you a quarterback. Tight ends. Let's see. Do I have any tight ends? DJ Moore comes out tomorrow, so I won't even bother with that. DJ Moore. I'm not going to give the ranking, but I'm doing a fantasy spotlight on DJ Moore. The Patreons already have it. So the Patreons already have it, and everybody else gets to see it tomorrow. All right, I told you guys Trey Lance. Let's see. The only tight end I see in here is Mark Andrews. So Mark Andrews, I have him at number 2. He's number 2. All right, I'm trying to decide on a wide receiver. Look, man, I don't disagree with you. I think he is going to be higher than 15. I just think that I don't think he's a starter. And that could change between now and the my final rankings, obviously. And I do agree with you, Jared. I think he is going to get drafted, but I don't think he's going to get drafted before the other quarterbacks I got in front of him. I think at that point that's considered a reach. I think he's going to get drafted. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for Dynasty, no brainer. But I'm talking, by the way, this is PPR. These numbers I gave you was PPR. Wide receivers. Let me see here. I'm looking at the wide receiver. I'm just see if I can find somebody that picked that asked for a couple people that picked the same wide receiver. All right, I got a Tyreek Hill. I got a We are. Be patient. Don't worry. The last 30 minutes is going to be Panthers, and I'm leaving. I promise you. So I got some Jamar Chases, Diggs, Wilson, CD, Pitts. I already went over. I did a tight end already. Cooper, Judy, Debo. Time out. All right, let me see here. I'll be nice. I'll give you 2 receivers. Since folks are asking for Judy, I got at number 28. And as for Debo, after he got the bag. And every contract I see from a wide receiver, I solely believe that we got DJ Moore for a bargain. Debo got that bag. And I have Debo ranked number 6. So I gave you guys 2 wide receivers for the culture. I got Debo ranked at number 6. Sorry. All right. Now that we're done with that, I just want to give you guys just a quick sample size. But if you want to see the whole list, become a patron. You have to be at least a franchise member to get the list, and you'll have it available immediately upon you joining. His brother's watching. I mean, look, man, I'm happy that he wanted to come play for Carolina. I love DJ Moore. And I just think that I think DJ Moore got a fair deal from that standpoint. I just think, the price of the wide receiver position has gone up something vicious. And it seems like every single new contract is something bigger, because we were when DJ got his contract, we were like, wow, that's pretty high. But it was also respectable because he deserved that money. So I'm happy he got his bag. All right. So let's get into training camp, man. For folks who watch me long enough, they kind of have a vibe of how I feel about the first week of training camp. And if you don't have a vibe of how I feel about the training camp, I think what it boils down to me is this. The first week of training camp is, in my opinion, I've always felt like the first week of training camp is more about the show. More than, I think there's more show than anything else. I mean, they're not in pads typically the first week. I think they're doing a lot of 707s and things of that sort, but they're not in pads. So from that standpoint, it ain't really, it's kind of like, it's just, I'm glad that football's back. I'm glad that they're doing some things. I'm glad they're doing what they need to do. There's a couple of things that I thought that was interesting that I noticed based on some of the highlights and some of the things that I've seen. Shout out to Carolina Blitz. Shout out to Unnecessary Buntless. They've been doing a phenomenal job covering training camp. So I wanted to give those folks their flowers. A lot of folks have been putting in some work. A lot of folks got some pretty good footage too. So just check them out. So that being said, the first thing I wanted to talk about, man, I want to talk about, and I had a little Twitter. I went on Twitter about this too. I want to talk about Brandon Smith. I made a prediction that he's going to end up getting a starting job. I haven't heard a bad thing about Brandon Smith so far. So that's a good sign. I still think he's got a shot to get a spot on the starting lineup. But and if I'm wrong, I'll own up to it. I don't have no problem with that. But I really like the kid. I think he's gonna be a trial by fire type of situation. I think they're gonna give him an opportunity to get more playing time. Even if he doesn't end up getting a starting job, I think he's gonna get way more playing time than some of the other folks that you guys talk about that should be starting and getting playing time and all that hoopla. So I haven't heard nothing crazy about him. So from that standpoint, I'm good. Now let's talk about this line real quick. The offensive line, I think so far it looks like Brady Christensen has been getting more snaps at the starting left tackle position, and Akeem has been coming in as the backup. My goal, well, my hope with regards to the offensive line is I don't want to see Pat Eflin or Cam Irving starting. So I know that there's this whole bicker back and forth about who should be the left tackle, who should be the left guard. We wasted the pick and we have Icky playing left guard instead of left tackle. Blah, 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 blah. I don't care. As long as Pat Eflin and Cam Irving is not starting, I'm cool. I'm good. I think perfect world, I would love to see Christensen and Icky in the starting lineup. I think realistically, I think the only way we'll see that is if Brady is at left tackle. I have a feeling that if Brady loses the left tackle job, he might not make the starting lineup. And I think Michael Jordan will potentially beat him out at guard, especially if you consider that we're trying to run the ball more. And he tends to be more of like Michael Jordan is more of a nastier offensive lineman, in my opinion. So I think I could see a scenario where if Icky gets the left tackle job, Christensen could still be riding on the bench. And if that's happening, then then we're going to be having a different discussion point when it comes to Brady Christensen. Because I know they had him as like a second round guard or third round tackle, whatever they had him as or whatever. So I think this is something that we absolutely need to keep an eye on throughout the training camp. Yeah, I saw that he said that the offensive line was a bright spot in camp, and I thought that was intriguing and interesting to say the least. So from that standpoint, I'm thrilled that we're in that area because we've never been in that area before. Yo, man, I have a funny feeling that Deontay Brown might not make this team, guys. And we talked about it when we did our potential projections a few weeks ago. I have a feeling that he might not make the squad, which is disappointing. And then, considering what we could have had, so far it's looking good from what I understand. He's an upgrade over who we would have had in that position anyway. So I'm rolling with Bozeman. Bro, I've had NFL players come up in here. That's how we ended up getting Philly Brown. That's how we ended up interviewing Philly Brown. So NFL players have made it in this cut, man. What's up, man? Appreciate you coming by. I'm going to the Saints game this year in Charlotte too. That's what I'm shooting for. Me and Rashad gonna be there for that one. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, but it doesn't. Yeah, that means he's nasty. I'm fine with that. Look, man, if he's the better run blocker, I'm cool. I'm rolling. Because I think we're going to try to run the ball. I mean, in the perfect world, I think if Christensen doesn't win the left tackle job, this is his next best thing. But I think there's going to be some concern on whether or not he's going to be able to beat out Michael Jordan. So we'll see what happens with that. I would like to see it happen, but we'll see. Because the thing about being at the guard spot, man, you got to be nasty. And I don't know. Sometimes I don't think Christensen isn't as nasty as some of the other linemen are. So I think that might be a factor. Somebody brought up the whole Orioles with CMC gloves. I mean, yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, that shout out to the fan to know what we get CMC over there. But I mean, we tend to make an article out of everything nowadays. Like that ain't really, in my eyes, that ain't really news. That just means everybody's going to try to bring Orioles for Christian McCaffrey. I feel for him, to be honest with you, because that's not really news. I think when you have those type of news clippings like that, I've always felt like, out of all the things you could have talked about, that's the one you're rolling with. But I understand why you roll with it, because people are going to click it, but I kind of want to know more details of what's going on in camp. I want to get more details on the position battles. I want to know some of the thought process of how they've been rotating the linemen in and out. Like, those are the type of things I'd rather know about. I don't really, props to the fan getting the autograph, but I really don't need an article on a fan doing his due diligence. I do commend the fan because he did his due diligence, though. Can't knock that. Yeah, we're about to get into quarterbacks. And the answer is no, I do not. All right, let me see here. Aggie Pride, baby. Aggie Pride. All right, let's see here. Let's talk about quarterbacks. Let's talk about the quarterback competition. Because, and I put it in quotes for a reason. This is the quarterback competition is in quotes for a multitude of reasons. The first thing I want to be clear about is this, and we'll start with Matt Corral, and then we'll get into we'll start with the Matt Corral portion of the quarterback competition. So let me be clear when I say this, and I'm not going to mince words when I say it. Matt Corral's not starting, guys. He's not starting this season. That's over. That's not happening. We have to have a crazy scenario. Dare I say, there might be games where that man will not suit up. He might not get a jersey on some game days because he's going to end up being the third quarterback on this team. Sometimes the third quarterback doesn't get a jersey on game days. So somebody asked whether or not Matt Corral can win the backup job. I do not think that's a possibility at all. I think they have no intention to play Matt Corral this season at all, one bit. Not a doubt in my mind. They don't want to play him. I don't see a Russell Wilson scenario happening here, guys. I don't see it. I think we're going to keep Baker. We're going to keep Baker and Darnold. Whoever loses is going to be the backup. And then the third quarterback is going to be Baker Mayfield. I don't think PJ Walker he could survive waivers, maybe. He is undefeated as a starter, so maybe somebody will take a chance on him. But if I believe he's eligible for the practice squad, and if he is, they'll probably try to stash him there. But I don't see that happening. I would get flagged. I think you're out your damn mind. I don't need to see them with the first. I'm good, dude. We can't be wasting the reps. They got to figure out who's going to be the starter. Even though I think they already know who it's going to be, and I think right now at this point is posing. Hence why I have the quotes. I think it's a no-brainer that Baker's starting, guys. Like now I know that there was some reports out saying that Baker's in the lead, but he hasn't taken it away from Sam yet. It's too close, but Baker's going to win this job, guys. If we start 0-6, he's not going to get – nope, sure won't. Darnold will first. Nope, sure won't. He's not playing this year, guys. He's got a lot to learn, and that's fine. He's doing all the right things, and I'm appreciative of that. Matter of fact, the best case scenario for him is like an 8-9 season. So then one of the quarterbacks, or maybe both of the quarterbacks, end up walking because neither one of them are on a contract at the end of this season. So from that standpoint, that's for Matt Corral's sake, the best case scenario for him is like an 8 or a 9 win season, and Carolina decides not to roll with either one of them. And if that happens, then we'll see Matt Corral. But if we go 2-15, 3-14, they're cleaning the house, and Matt Corral's not going to get a shot. Because at that point, the new coach is going to draft the quarterback. So those are the things you got to take into account. If we start 0-6, that would be bad. I don't think we're going to start 0-6. Probably should start 1-0. Yeah, from what I understand, that's what it's been looking like. I mean, I haven't really watched too much footage, so to speak, but But the reports that I've been reading basically was saying that Baker hasn't taken over the job yet. And Darnold's probably come to play finally. But we'll see. Darnold could win. And if Darnold wins, man, that's going to be an interesting dynamic. I think there's going to be that might be the only scenario, but they're not going to release Baker. They might as well keep him. They got to pay him anyway. Well, they're not paying him as much, so they could cut him. Yeah, they could cut him. The more I think about it, they could cut him because they're not paying that much for him anyway. They could cut him. They could likely cut Baker more than they could cut Sam. You keep it a buck because it's not really costing them that much. So they could cut him. The more I think about it, they could cut him. Donald could win the job. It's hard for me to believe that it's a true competition right now because, I mean, you could have just had that with. You could have just. I'm not fully buying it. I think Baker's going to start week 1. You better hope that, like I said, 8 or 9 wins, guys. That keeps rule there, and then that might be just enough for them not to sign one of those guys, and they just roll with Corral next season. Nah, honestly, like I get it. I understand that's like the right thing to say, but you don't trade for Baker Mayfield if you don't have him starting. My opinion. No way. No way in hell. That ain't happening. I disagree. If he only wins 4 games, I think he's gone, bro. Who's starting against Commanders Baker. Yeah, man. What Granddaughter say? Get these likes up, man. I got almost 200 people watching. We gotta get these likes up, get them rolling. Like the channel. Oh, sure you can. Yeah, I'm on this train. I mean, in my opinion, I think he should be gone if he doesn't make the playoffs this year. So, whether or not Tepper agrees is a different story. All right, let's see. This person sees it. You're going to have a Baker and a Darnold injury to see Corral start. Not really. Not too much on them. I heard Tommy Tremble's been out here putting in work, though, man. The tight end. I heard he's been putting in some work. I said Sam was going to win initially. I've backpedaled a little bit since then. You know, before we traded for Baker, excuse me. I said that it's very possible that Baker could lose the competition. Very possible. Very possible. Haven't heard too much on Rambo. Somebody that's been showing out is Higgins, particularly when Rashard Higgins, particularly when Baker's out there. For obvious reasons, right? They already had a relationship from their days in Cleveland. So keep an eye out for that because I think Higgins could be somebody that could impact the target share of a Terrence Marshall and of a Robbie Anderson. So you keep an eye on that one. Yeah, I heard Shaw's been doing this thing too. Realistically, 8 or 9 wins. I think they need to make the playoffs, but 8 or 9 wins. 8 or 9 wins. Rule finally built some level of momentum I don't think the Panther fan base would be too thrilled with eight wins. Maybe 9 if we make the playoffs, but I don't know if the Panthers would be thrilled with that. I think a lot of Panthers would rather have a losing season, at least based on my Twitter timeline. There's some portions of the fan base that would rather have a losing season just to get ruled out of here, and I'm not part of that notion. I'm tired of losing, bro. Like, I'm just tired. I'm tired of losing these games. Because he's under contract. That's why he's on this team. Well, I mean, Bosa's got to earn his job, obviously. My honest opinion, preseasons. I think unless something changes, with the way the day was the first day in pads, so we'll see over time. Because now, like, training camp started today in my eyes. Like, we always talk about, we talk about, oh man, with the welcome backs and all that, and ain't a pad in sight. So, like, training camp starts when the pads come on. When the click clack starts, that's when training camp starts, and that started today in my eyes. So, from that standpoint, we might start to see a little bit more. I think the preseason games, the first 2 preseason games are going to be important. And on top of that, the joint practices with the Patriots, which I'm trying to get out there for. I'll keep you guys posted on that. It's open to the public, so I'm going to try to go out to Foxborough and check out the practices. But those are the big things that I'm concerned about. I think it'll take a little bit of time. Yeah, they probably on that trust the process, Steez, man. I ain't gonna disagree with you there. What if Matt takes the top off in preseason? Matt will still be on the bench and he will still be the 3rd string quarterback. Do you guys really think that this dude's gonna pull a Russell Wilson or a Derek Carr? Y'all remember when Derek Carr did that during the preseason? All of a sudden he ended up winning the job. Y'all think he's gonna do that? I don't think he's gonna do that. I don't see that happening. No, I mean, Matt Corral is getting a year off. I think this is a different scenario. I think there's a legitimate situation. There's a legitimate scenario where Matt Corral could be starting in 2023. That's my opinion on that. Matt Corral could be starting in 2023, depending on how this season goes. Oh, no, the talent's there. You just got to put it together. The talent's there. The concern is not the talent. The talent's there. So I agree with you there, man. That man has never played an NFL snaps, and you guys are telling me to watch tape. Does he have any tape? Does he have any tape with against NFL players? He's a rookie, man. He's got a lot to learn. It takes time. You guys will keep riding this, oh, Matt's going to start bandwagon. It's not happening, guys. If that was the case, they didn't need to trade for Baker. The moment they traded for Baker, that didn't any chance of him getting on the getting in the lineup. I haven't heard too much about him. DJ's made some great catches though, but I haven't heard that much about Terrence like that. Like, this is the NFL, guys. It's a little bit different. Oh man, oh God, man. If he doesn't get signed within the next couple of days, I think he ain't playing this year, guys. I think he kind of when he made those comments about how he never really got a fair chance because he always showed up after certain things. We're sitting in training camp right now, and he hasn't been signed yet. I don't want to say it, but I mean, I know he said doesn't want to say his retirement, but it's going to be tough. It's too early. It's too early. No, no. He's not going to play. He's not going to walk into that type of situation. I think he would have signed with Cleveland if he got an inkling that Deshaun Watson was going to get suspended for the whole season. But I think the moment when there was talks that he wasn't going to get suspended the whole season, that ended that. So, and that's why they ended up signing Josh Rosen, if I remember correctly. So, like, I think that was a big factor in the decision making of what was going to happen with Cam. I think if Watson would have gotten suspended indefinitely, I think Cam would have signed with Cleveland. But I think because of the vibes that it was possible that he wasn't going to get suspended indefinitely or for the season, it didn't make sense for Cam to not. It didn't make sense for Cam to sign there. Yeah, man. Dude, if Cam doesn't play this year, I think he's done. Heard he was hitting today from what I understand. I think CJ just wanted to get them pads rocking. Heard he had a pretty good day. Yeah. Cam might be done. It's kind of sad. I hated the way it ended. Yep. I knew it wasn't bugging. Cause I saw that speculation. Cause I posted the question, what would happen if what Panthers fans do if Cam Newton started up against Cleveland? Because I think there was a legitimate concern at that point that Watson was probably going to get suspended for the whole year. Nope, not buying it. I think nope. All right. The joint practice is it's Tuesday and Wednesday, April 16th, April 17th. The times aren't out yet. I'm going to try to go. I'm hoping it's in the morning so I can just go in the morning. I can still go to work maybe, but we'll see. No, we're paying too much money for both of them. I wouldn't cut either one of them. I would cut PJ Walker is who I would cut. That's who I would cut. All right. I guess you guys don't be following PNP on Twitter, man. Y'all, a lot of folks didn't know I was hitting it early this morning today. But make sure you follow us on Twitter, man. Rashad primarily posts there, but I'll occasionally post something. But you'll know when it's me because I'll typically start with Dave here, or I'll close it with my name at the bottom. So just keep that in mind. Because I did announce that I was going to start at 8:00 tonight because I didn't want to go more than an hour. I wanted to get like maybe around 55 minutes. I'm pretty much where I want to be right now. Because I got a couple of things I need to get done tonight before tomorrow. But yeah, man, this was fun. Did I say April 16th or something? No, August. Excuse me. Good God. Did I really say April? August 16th and August 17th. August 16th, August 17th. Tuesday and Wednesday. My bad. All right. So now we're going to close this up. We're going to close this up real quick. So let me go ahead and take this comment off. Take this banner away. Guys, appreciate you guys coming. Short show today. Like I said, I got a couple of things I'm trying to take care of. Fantasy Spotlight for DJ Moore comes out tomorrow. Elijah Mitchell and the 49ers running backs comes out this Friday. The Patrons will get that a couple of days early. So become a patron if you want to get the footage early. I'm going to do the Zoom fantasy Zoom for my patrons this Friday as well. I'll let you guys know what time that's going to be. And that's all I have for tonight. Make sure you like us, subscribe to us, follow us on Facebook, Panther Nation Podcast. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, the whole 9 at Panther Nation PC, and all the social media outlets other than Facebook at Panther Nation PC. You can follow me. Let me go ahead and throw mine up real quick, and then I'm gonna close out the show. Bear with me. You can follow me on Twitter here. So you can follow me there. And that's pretty much it, guys. This was fun. It's been real. You guys have a lovely evening. Check out some Bill Russell stuff. Check out some of the things that he's done. Reflect on it. And I will see you guys next week. And Rashad should be back. I don't want to fully commit because, Rashad will call me on a Sunday and be like, yo, man, I need you here for Monday. And I'll be here. But the way I see it, Rashad shall return on Monday. So, like I said, I got 2 fantasy videos for you guys this week. And I'll holler at you guys later. Appreciate the super sticker, Richard. And I am out.